Hey, if you're looking for a masterclass in what it means to exercise self-control, what it means to be a great example for others, what it means to be fighting temptations to outbox whatever it is that you struggle with. 1 Corinthians chapter 8 through to chapter 10, Paul teaches a masterclass on it. Okay, in chapter 8, he's talking about this idea of how the choices you decide to make and the example that you exercise has the ability to influence and impact the decisions and choices of other people. And then, therefore, if you don't get it right, and other people start to model what you're doing, it can become a stumbling block for them. And Paul uses the example specifically of idol worship of food in the temple and things of this nature, and how, to refrain from such a thing for the sake of it not being a stumbling block for other people. And in, I guess, more modern times, you might use an example of drinking, which in itself isn't necessarily inherently a sin. But the fact that if you do it and someone else then engages and they get drunk or hungover or expose themselves to whatever realm you expose yourself to when you get horsed, that's on you because they saw you. And that in itself is sitting against Jesus. This powerful idea of far out, the choices I make actually impact the walk of others, and so I need to be careful about it for that reason. Then in chapter 10, chapter 10. It talks about, in verse 13, no temptation has come upon you except what is common to humanity. But God is faithful. He will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation he will also provide a way out so that you may be able to bear it. Just remember, temptation is there to remind you that you are in control. Temptation is there to remind you that you have a choice. If you're fighting temptations and you haven't given in yet, it's because you've got power. If you give in, you become powerless. You made the wrong choice. If you stick to your guns and what God has brought you here to do, you're powerful. No temptation you feel is too great for you. Okay, sometimes the enemy knows you better than yourself, but God knows you better than the enemy. If there's temptation that you're facing in your life, hunker down. You've got the goods. You can deal with it. You're okay. Chapter 9. Don't mean to double back and go around in circles, but I wanted to speak on verse 24 to 27. Okay. Initially in 17 to 23, Paul's talking about, and Paul's known for being this guy in the Bible who is all things to all men. He's a Jew to Jews, he can resonate with them. He's a Roman to Romans, he can resonate with them. All things to all people. And he speaks about it in a way as such, not to talk down on people or to act like you're too good for them and that you're lowering yourself to their level, but to still speak with empathy, compassion, care. And then verse 24, don't you know that the runners in a stadium all race, but only one who receives the prize? Run in such a way to win the prize. Now, everyone who competes exercises self-control in everything. They do it to receive a perishable crown, but we an imperishable crown. So I do not run like one who runs aimlessly or box like one beating the air. Instead, I discipline my body and bring it under strict control, so that after preaching to others, I myself will not be disqualified. People are running in this life for things that don't really matter, for things that aren't everlasting, for things that aren't eternal. What race are you running? Is it the right race? Are your eyes on the right prize? The only true prize is a crown that is imperishable. This is the fight and the race that we run for Jesus, for God, in his glorious name. You've got the goods, you can do it. Lock in, exercise that self-control, be the example. Fight temptations. Because temptation is there to remind you that you're in control. You have the decision to make what lens you're going to view it through. And God bless you.